Who are your most disappointing players this year? That is what we're going to talk about. Dalton, first off, I want to tell you how disappointed I am in Kevin Porter Jr. The man was supposed to be a star this year, a bona fide home run hitter. Nah, it's not quite. A little bit of disappointment for Jason Tatum as well.
Yeah. Jason Tatum, I mean, he's starting to get it back. He's getting
Yeah.
back slowly, getting back to this year. I mean, they're really struggling without that like elite playmaker that they've had the last few years. Like, say what you will about Kemba, he's an elite playmaker. Kyrie's an elite playmaker. Whether they hit their shots, obviously Kyrie can hit his shots when he's not in
Yeah.
Boston.
Passing
But
ability never goes away, though.
yeah, like they're obviously elite playmakers that have been running offenses for a while. I don't see Dennis
You
Schroeder
should
as an
bring in
elite
Rajon
playmaker.
Rondo.
Rondo back. Come on, man.
Come
Rondo's
on, man.
just the catch all for teams. Like the Clippers are like, we need a point guard. Rondo, come on. He's like, dude, I'm
Rondo.
like 40.
He's ready. You can still assist. We know it. It's in your blood.
They're like, can you be starting point guard on a playoff running team and play 35 minutes a game? He's like, I'm old as shit.
Yeah, he just needs to get his sons prepared because, they have the same brain. So, like,
Yeah.
it should work the same.
Yeah. No, so my disappointing players, starting off is Evan Fournier, who's just disappointing me. Aside from being on my fantasy team and everything, and just shitting the bed. So like from his Magic season to when he was suddenly to the Boston and then now on the Knicks, 13 points per game, 42, 39, 73. Obviously 39 is probably the best out there for his in his efficiency lineup. 42 is fine, but his trips to the line used to be 4.7 free throws a game, almost free throws a game. Now he's at like 1.4. Yeah, 1.4. It was like this guy's significantly not driving down from 17 points per game average for a career to 13. That hurts. 3 assists to 1. This guy's just there to shoot threes. He's certainly
basically
like
just a spot up shooter at this point.
Yeah, he went from being a decent like guy to take the ball and score with the Magic, and like obviously he could have been like a lower third, like a third scoring option if you have 2 superstars or a great fourth option. He went from that to just being just a shooter, and that's I mean it hurts to see him in that role, and he's obviously not excelling in it, and it just sucks, and he's hurting my fantasy numbers. Traded Lonzo and Lou Dort for that motherfucker. I am bitter.
Man. Wow.
But to you, and you flipped them for anyway. But my second guy, I think you will love the sentiment, is Malik Beasley. Disappointing year from that guy.
Most definitely. Yeah, as a homer, I can attest as a Timberwolves fan that Malik Beasley has not been great this year, and Jalen Noel has basically taken over his job the last few games. Malik Beasley, he did have a really good game this last one. He gets a good one every now and then, but for the most part, a lot of disappointment. Like he's been very inefficient. Nights like 3 of 15.
Yeah. So if you want to hear the numbers, so
let's hear
19 points per game, shooting splits of 44 from the field, 40 from 3, 85 from the line. Great. That was a great season. You look at those numbers, you're like,
yeah, that's why we paid
terrific.
Him. That was a great season.
This year,
dominant.
This year, 12 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, 37 from the field, 35 from 3, 75 from the line. Significantly worse. And he has a smaller, like, he did that when he was the starting guard. He did the 19 points per game. And now they're like, you know what? I had the hopes for him too. They're like, if we move him to 6-man, he'll be against easier offense, easier defenses. He'll be able to be a 6-man of the year candidate, and they get that defense in the starting lineup. It was perfect sound thinking. Like I was with the Timberwolves when they're like, yeah, let's move him to the bench. Did not perform. He's like you said, he's been super inconsistent. It's hurt. It's hurt.
Yeah, I think he's stepped back with that move. Like he said, oh, no problem with not starting, but I think there obviously is a problem, and he's coming off the bench wanting to, take his shot, and it must be in his head, like he's getting to the wrong spots or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just not hitting them. He's got a few games where he's scored in bunches. He still has that potential, but last year he was very consistent.
Oh yeah. Last year, only 50, not only, that's kind of a huge percentage, but 54% of his shots came from three. 54 of his shots came from three. But he hit them at what was the rate? 40%. Like, that's fine. Like, take all those shots if you want. This year, 73% of his shots are coming from three, and he's shooting 35%, league average. That's kind of a steep drop. Like, maybe not shoes, man. It's not working. Like, I think he hit the golden spot with where he was. And I still think it was actually the same amount of per attempts per season, actually a little less. But now that he has lower minutes, he's like, I'm just going to keep taking the threes and be like, that's not necessarily doesn't translate. Like, because you get less minutes, within the minutes should be proportional to the shots you take. You shouldn't be taking 73 shots from three if that's all you're getting, all the shots you're getting. Like, he was a good drive. He was able to get in and drive and be an all type of scorer. Now he just takes contested threes all day.
Yeah, you got to drive it in every now and then. I've seen him do it a little bit more lately, but Jalen Noel's done it a lot more consistently, and that's why he's been getting more playing time.
Yep. But my last disappointing player that I will mention in this video is Isaiah Stewart. Now, it's not like he showed the potential. It's not like he was a huge player, but so 7.6 points per game, 8 rebounds, 1.3 blocks, 51, 10, 67. Obviously, 51, you hear 51 is fine, but this guy, last season, he's showed all this potential, like great rebounding, great defense when he was the backup center. And it was great to see. He's only getting 19 minutes per game. And you're like, okay, that's pretty good. But so when he got moved to the starting at the beginning of the year, you're like, big things are going to come from Isaiah. He's going to get this role. He's going to be over a double-digit scoring, hopefully close to double-digit rebounding. His defense is going to be great, and he just hasn't. Scoring has gone down. Free throws gone down. Field goals gone down. 3 points gone down. Steals has gone down. He was a decent perimeter defender. I mean, at least steals or interceptor in that way, but he's just not. He just didn't show this growth this second year, and maybe it's too early to jump the gun. But I was definitely disappointed by his season so far.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he was a guy you were just hoping would take a big leap this year, with it being year 2, right? So. It just hasn't happened. It's another guy who I was hoping would take a big step on that team was Saddiq Bey. He just was really playing poorly to start the year. He's been more efficient lately, but like his numbers are about the same what they were last year. I was hoping the points per game would go up at least. The Pistons team's not very good, but hopefully they can get someone better in the draft.
Mm-hmm. And maybe a few more veterans on that team, because that'd be great. That's all. They're
trying to get rid of one, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just fill a team with all young players and hope potential wins through, because it never does. You need good vets, and that's been proven in this league. Where, like, look at the Magic; they just fizzled out. They took all their young talent that they just had around. I mean, they had some vets like Aaron Afalo, like, and they're like, these are our vets. But
you guys
eventually they fizzled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys went deep on Serge Ibaka that one year, and then I think you were afraid to go for a veteran after that.
Yeah, traded Oladipo,
trading for one,
which turned out to be a terrible trade at like 2 years later, and Sabonis, and still is a terrible trade now. All we got is Terrence Ross, and the pick that eventually turned into Markelle, but Markelle's still up in the air. But that's
it's just holding on to that little glimmer of hope that we didn't totally fuck up that trade, but it's like it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Terrence Ross is a nice piece for a lot of teams as a 6th man or a 7th man. So that at least we got that. We just have no start. We just didn't have the right starters.
Sabonis would have been nice.
Sabonis would have been nice. Sabonis next to that team would have been, if they would have kept all those guys, it would have been like, I don't even know who would have been their point guard. Probably Elfrid Payton, for example. Elfrid Payton, Oladipo, Tobias Harris, Sabonis, Vucevic with Aaron Gordon off the bench. That's that team that they drafted. That would have been, actually they got Tobias in a trade, but then they traded him away.
Would they have been able to keep Tobias still?
Tobias, I mean, assuming if they paid him, I mean, he obviously wouldn't have been as good as he did with the Clippers. Yeah, to the Bucks for Brandon Jennings.